that's the hope. That's the hope and the goal is that, it would be timely. So, right. Yeah, but we'll probably do that too.
Yeah, stay home. Okay.
Yep. Stay home and bad news. Both sound very depressing, but bad news is really funny, I promise.
Really? Okay. The Stay Home seems to have a very catchy title though for right now because everybody's staying home. Have you written the script on Stay Home yet?
We're at an outline. So we're hoping to have a script by end of May is the goal. And then we want to shoot it. Right. I mean, right now, nobody's filming. And there's no guarantee of when that'll come up. Some people say September, some people say sooner. Nobody knows really. So it kind of varies, but we're hoping to shoot it in the fall, I think. Probably mid to late fall.
Also, how much money you spend in a movie? I mean, do you have a target that I have to spend this much amount of? Is there any budget, or I mean, how do you work on that?
Yeah, no, there's a goal. So like, I always want as much as I can, but you can't always get as much as you can. So the way I think about it usually is like, what's my minimum basically to get the movie made, right? And my comfortable minimum is $200,000 because if I get under that, then I just begin to sacrifice and compromise, and the movie's just not going to be as good, if that makes sense. And so, like $200,000 is, I mean, and that's low budget. Like $200,000 for a movie is already really low budget. Right. But we own a lot of gear. We have a lot of connections. We're well respected to where we can make a good movie for that price. But, you add more money and then everything goes up. Production value goes up. I can begin to reach out to talent, like names and star names and stuff like that and attach them. Everything goes up. And so like, I like $1 million is a super good, but like, I don't know how people can have $1 million and make a bad movie, to be honest. I don't understand how people can have $30 million and make a bad movie.
Bad script.
Yeah, I know. It starts with the script. I don't know how. I don't know.
So,
I don't know how that happens.
If you get a chance to work on a movie with an unlimited budget and a good script, which one you will choose? You'll choose a good script or an unlimited budget?
I'd probably take the unlimited budget because people would still respect that you got you brought it to the finish line. I'd take the unlimited budget because then somebody's going to give me a smaller budget. Then I can make a really good movie and then go back to an unlimited budget with a good script. If that makes sense. Yeah. I don't know. At the end of the day, like me personally, I just like making movies. So I would take whichever one. So, hello.
Oh, Isabella, do you know Wes Elder?
No.
Do you guys know each other? Okay. Wes is a Hollywood.
Nice to meet everyone.
Wes is a Hollywood producer who doesn't live in Hollywood. He's smart. He lives in Kansas City, but he's a producer of a great movie that was running on Netflix. Is it on Amazon now? It's called The Matchbreaker. Is it running on Amazon now?
Yeah, it's on Amazon, and it's also on Tubi TV, which is like a streaming platform that's ad supported.
Oh, yeah. And Isabella, if you haven't seen the movie, it's called The Matchbreaker. You've got to see this movie. Yes. Write it down.
I'm putting it on my watch list.
Yeah, because it's a great movie. It was Wes, I think Wes is multi-talented. He's unusual for an actor. He does acting, he does script writing, and he also does the producing. So he's a Hollywood producer that doesn't live in Hollywood and does that. Isabella is a famous person in South Africa who was on, I saw you the other day on Alexandra May's Cafe, and South Africa has been a great place for us. Oh wait, Alexandra's showing up. Are you kidding me? Speaking of talent, okay, here comes Alexandra. Okay, I saw her on Alexandra May's cafe the other day, and these people
enjoy it.
Oh, are you kidding me? That was great. Not only that, Alexandra, I Wikipedia'd all the people that you had on there, and you had all these famous people on your television show. I was going, are you kidding me? You
That's
know,
pretty cool, right?
that was pretty cool. And they're all well known in South Africa, which, by the way, Wes, is a big market, 57 million people. It's bigger than California. So it's South Africa is a very important market for us because they have more people in South Africa than they do in the California. But Alexandra is a singer, and she's also apparently an actress, and she runs Alexandra May's Musical Cafe. And Isabella is also one of the famous people, because you just Google her and you find out who people are, and they're super famous in South Africa. And Alexander West is a producer, and also he does acting and screenwriting, does everything. He's one of these what I call polymaths, so he can do everything. But Wes has a movie. You got to see it. You got to see it. It's called The Matchbreaker. It's running on Amazon. It was running on Netflix, and you go to Amazon.com and you can watch this movie. It's just a great movie. The storyline's a killer. The storyline is the parents don't like who their kids are getting married, going to marry, so they send the matchbreaker in to destroy their marriage.
I actually think I've seen this.
Watched it.
Are you kidding? Have you seen that?
I think I watched.
I think I have too. I'm gonna go
seen
double check now.
Listen, if you haven't seen it, it's a killer movie, and the thing is,
it was on Netflix for almost 2 years, so you could have seen it there. And
yeah.
I think that because I definitely watch on Netflix a lot just because it's quite convenient. So I did a lot of Netflixing for quite a while. So I'm pretty sure that was the one that I came across.
Funny.
That is so exciting! Wow.
Cool. Thanks for checking it out.
Yeah, so I guess it's beaming in South Africa, which is good. If you haven't checked it out, you got to really check it out. I think it was a great storyline, and he did an excellent job in terms. Matter of fact, I rank him ahead of Quentin Tarantino's last movie. Sorry, I'm serious. Your movie was better than Quentin Tarantino's last movie. Okay, I'm sorry. The Last Idiot in Hollywood, or wherever the heck that was, he pandered to all the Hollywood royalty in that movie. That was one of the few movies I was going, how do I get my money back? It was that bad, you know? I mean, the thing is, I'm sorry. His movie sucked. Yet all the reviewers go, it's Quentin Tarantino. Now, don't get me wrong. He's done some really good movies. Pulp Fiction was a killer, and he's done some good ones. They're all sick, but they're good. Okay, but that last one was absolutely trash, and I spent money to go see that, and that was a QT movie. Your movie was better. Okay, I'll put it down right now. Wes Elder's movie was better, and the thing is, if he can keep producing movies like that, we'll have a hard time ever getting him back on IBM TV because he'll be walking around like this. You know, I'm looking for the red carpet, baby. You know, whatever you guys do in that land. But nice guy. He actually is headquartered out of Kansas City, which is a real city, as opposed to Hollywood. But you do go to Hollywood, don't you? You've gone down to that.
Yeah. I was there. I was there in February, I think. And so we just had a few meetings and whatnot. So
but you tend
the weather's really nice. The weather's really nice.
I agree, but you tend to stay away from that, and you tend to stay in Kansas City, right? I don't know where it's away from. I'm not super particular on where I'm based out of, to be honest, because I've learned you can make a movie or anywhere. So, but if something required me to move there, I would, just because, you know, if it's a big enough opportunity, I'm willing to do something for it. So, Now, Alexandra, you're in Johannesburg, right? Now? Johannesburg. Are you in Johannesburg also?
Yeah, I am. I live with Alice, big sister.
Oh, you're kidding. Okay, so you're in the same area. Okay, hey, great. Okay, all in Johannesburg.
That's cool.
South Africa. Originally from Durban. If you haven't been there, it's by the coast. Forever.
By the coast.
Right.
Yep.
Yes. You know, and so the thing is, Wes has a couple new movies coming along right now. One is called Stay Home.
Ironically. Did you plan that? I mean, or is it just like?
Yeah, no, we're writing it right now. It's a thriller.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
Cool.
Have you seen Rear Window by chance or Disturbia?
I haven't.
Okay.
No, I haven't.
Okay, so it's kind of in the. Have you seen 10 Cloverfield Lane? Have you seen that one?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that. So it's like a single
Sure.
location movie.
Oh, okay, I get it. I get
So
it.
it'll take place at a bed and breakfast, but there's this the reason they're at the bed and breakfast is because they got on lockdown because they're on quarantine and stuff like that. And then just bad stuff happens.
I am so looking forward to that. Can I tell you that it sort of reminds me of this project that I don't know, Bella, you might be able to help me. Somebody's directing it in South Africa, but I've got a friend who stars in it. It's called Lockdown Heights. And
cool.
because we're on lockdown, quite literally, we're not allowed to leave. But all these actors and actresses who are stuck at home, they're like, let's do a series, like filming with our phones and like FaceTiming with the director, and they do these scenes, and it's like these random scenes in different people's apartments, but it's all these like little, it's like this film or this episode that's like pushed together. Like a soap opera with these little bits from everybody's apartment. I think it's really clever. Like I get yours is like a story as well, but it's amazing that like what's coming out of this time in our world, you know, it's incredible what's coming out of it.
So many people are using the time to be creative and just coming up with. I had somebody ask me a question the other day about like how will we go forward even with just stories, like how do we let the quarantine, the virus and stuff impact our stories? And somebody was like, well, I don't think the world is exactly the same. I think it will impact your story. I mean, you don't have to make it a part of your story, but it wouldn't be weird if it is a part of your story either. And so
interesting,
so it's interesting to be thinking about like how it'll impact people's creativity, and how they think about things.
No, it's so true because we're my sister was actually on the phone to our aunt this afternoon. She's a school teacher, so she's teaching from home. She teaches babies, so she's trying to teach from home, trying to be creative. And my sister's actually Bella's doing these little episodes with her. Bella's a ventriloquist. She has a puppet called Rosie, so she does these little videos. And she was just literally telling our aunt today that we're redefining our careers completely, how we go about things. And I think it's true for everybody. I mean, a lot of people will now be working from home and little adjustments. But when it comes to the arts, we're quite literally readjusting our entire career. How do we stay relevant in this time and carrying on? Because nothing's going to change like that, So yeah, I think you're right. It's quite interesting to see how it's going to change us going forward, because we can't really tell now because we're just surviving now. But going forward, that'll be the real test, going forward.
Right. No, for sure. Yeah. For sure.
And you have another movie that that you're going to start producing. Is it Bad News? Is that the?
That's a show.
It's a show. Okay.
And it's called Bad News. If you've seen The Office or Parks and Recreation. It's kind of
so much.
Yeah, it's kind of like those, but set in a news station, and basically they're trying to pull together this news station, even with the impending news that a meteor is coming to destroy the planet. So
I love that.
Yeah, so they continue to tell the news, even though supposedly an asteroid is going to hit. So yeah, but it's a comedy. It's like it's a mockumentary. So,
do you have trailers on that already, Wes?
Yeah, I do. So I do. Yeah, we're gonna be posting it soon. We haven't posted it anywhere yet. Okay. But yeah, we're gonna post it soon and release it, and then everybody can see it.
Okay, right. Yeah, because if you had trailers, we'd send it to AnKit and we can put it on IBM TV.
Yeah.
Start promoting it, at least in South Africa and India, where we have big followings.
For sure.
There, stuff like that. Okay, so right now you're just doing script writing right now, right?
Yeah, right now. Yeah. Right now, everybody's writing. Nobody is filming. I've heard of a few people that have been able to do some commercial shoots. But it's been super small, like 5 people on set. And it's very, they got a lot of protocols set in place.
Right.
So it's interesting because like, you have everybody who's watching stuff now, spending more time online watching content, but, spoken with a distributor friend of mine, what you're beginning to see is advertisers pull out of the content that is ad supported, because while the streaming is doing really well, the people that support the streaming via ads are not doing as well. So they're pulling out.
Wow.
And so it's interesting that it's like the best times for some of these streaming platforms, but then also the challenge is beginning to hit them as well. So
right. Yeah. In other words, the advertisers are suffering financially, so they're pulling
Right.
out of the they're pulling out the advertising of the production. You know.
Right.
But
Yeah.
right now you're not filming at all. When do you plan on start filming again then?
I'm anticipating September, somewhere around there. September or October is when I think things will really come back into motion. I have some other commercial stuff that I need to do. So we're trying to figure out, if we can do that on a smaller scale or not. But who knows really. So I have some other work that I do for a social media app company. I'm basically advising them on the video production stuff. It's interesting. So I have that kind of keeping me busy right now too, which is good.
In the Matchbreaker though, there's a true story about your leading lady that ran into, unfortunately it was a serious accident or something like that.
She was murdered actually. And so her name is Christina Grimmie. You can Google her. She was a big YouTuber and she came in third on The Voice and stuff like that. But she was murdered at a concert in June of 2016, a few months before we released the movie. And so then we still released the movie. We debated, like we were like, should we not? But we did, because based off of a bunch of other movies and things, when actors have passed away, they still release the films. So it was tragic. You can Google her and read all about that.
Yeah, that's got to be really hard on the people that were involved in that movie. Something like that happened,
Yeah, no, it was. It was a challenging time for sure, and it was challenging being, trying to be sensitive of how much we should be promoting it versus how much, is respectful to her being gone. Right. A similar incident around that time was Anton Yelchin, who passed away from a crazy accident, and he was in the new Star Trek movie coming out. But his accident happened like 2 weeks before the movie versus ours was like 4 months. And so that movie, it's going to hit theaters. It's not going to change 2 weeks out. Right. Ours was a little different, but we ended up getting the, approval and endorsement of her parents and stuff like that. And we, did a private screening for them and her friends came. And so, made the best out of a bad situation.
Right. Well, I think it was a good tribute to her in order to actually have the movie shown, because she was excellent in it also. And if you haven't seen The Matchbreaker, all I can do is everybody should go see the movie. Really good movie, much better than Quentin Tarantino. So the next QT is sitting right over there. Wes Elder, who you'll hear about. Steve Spielberg moved Steve around. Remember, these guys are retiring anyway. Steve is old. He's a senior guy. You don't want to say old. Okay. And Quentin Tarantino, the same thing. I think he says he's going to do one more and then he's done. So he's one and done right now, baby. And he should have quit before he did the last one. That's my opinion. But the thing is, so they're looking for some new blood, some great producers, and Wes is probably going to be up there. I mean, if I was a stock, I'd bet very heavily on you, Wes. In other words, I'd go buy.
Well, I'll take that. I'll take that bet.
So anyway, I think you're a good bet. And he's staying away from the Hollywood crowd, doing a lot of his work in Kansas City, which I think, as you consider Johannesburg, when I saw Alexandra and Isabella's there, I'm going, okay, I got to go to Johannesburg. I don't know why they're in Johannesburg, but why'd you guys move from Durban to Johannesburg? What's the deal?
Well, see, Durban is a coastal little town. It's no longer a town. It's grown obviously in how many 20 odd years. Yeah. But Johannesburg is sort of like the place. We moved here because my dad was starting a business. Mm-hmm. So it's sort of the place to really start a business and make money. And we just have not moved.
Also, it's the biggest city in South Africa. So
does also help a bit.
Right.
So it makes sense.
Is it the biggest in the African continent as well?
I don't know about the continent.
So.
I don't know about the whole of Africa.
That was a trivia question.
Yeah.
Actually, it's Lagos, Nigeria is the biggest city. It just eclipsed Cairo. And Lagos.
Yeah, see, that's our continent.
I know, right? Yeah, it's it's the upper part of the continent. And we have been at IBM TV. We have been monitoring the African continent quite closely. I'll tell you the problem. The demographics are good, like in Nigeria and Egypt. The problem is bandwidth is bad. In other words, like if you're beaming into Laos, Nigeria, the bandwidth is really choppy, and so it's really a challenging place. South Africa is obviously good. You guys are beaming in from there. India is good, but there are parts of Africa that the bandwidth isn't very good right now.
You won't believe I've got a lot of viewers messaging me about Alexandra stores, and they are from Nigeria.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, we're going to find out a little bit more tomorrow because it's a bandwidth issue more than anything. So stuff that a lot of people don't have to worry about, but at IBM TV we do worry about bandwidth because it's how you can beam in and beam out, what the quality of the production is. It does make a difference. But I'm glad you guys got to know. After seeing your program in Johannesburg, you guys are all from Johannesburg. I want to go visit Johannesburg.
Come visit us. You guys are all welcome.
I got to go. Wes, I'm sorry. I have been to Kansas City when there was an old airline called Vanguard Airline that actually hubbed out of there.
Cool.
Wow.
And you could actually move in and out of Kansas City. So I've been to Kansas City a lot, and they have a big convention center there called Barthel Hall or something like that.
Yep.
It's in downtown. It's absolutely huge. So I've been to a lot of the functions there. I think it's a great place if you can film there there because your production costs can't be near as high as filming in California. But most of the Hollywood people have moved out of California for filming because it's the cost. It's too expensive.
Yeah, it is expensive.
So a lot of moving up to Vancouver. Yeah.
If they want to save the cost, they can come down to Johannesburg, or they can come down to India.
Yeah, it's true. You go to India, and the cost is a lot less filming in Bollywood. Bollywood's a lot less expensive.
There you go.
And let's see. Lynn Shepard has just joined us. We do have one of our sponsors who've just joined us. We have some what I call very interesting sponsors in IBM TV, and Wes is going to tell us a little bit. Lynn's going to tell us a little bit about the Dollar Store online. We actually can shop online on IBM TV. So Lynn, what's the Dollar Store doing?
Well, the Dollar Store actually was interesting. We had a call of, as people may know, we're not only online, but there are a number of us. The main company was started by a gentleman from India by the name of Rex Mehta. Started it 26 years ago. Put a lot of stores around the world. Don't know whether there's one in South Africa yet. But in any event, in the United States, decided in 2019 going to go all online. So we had a number of us who were owners last night on a call. And the interesting thing was we found one product, and I know there are a number of others, especially because Kimberly keeps talking about the face mask or whatever it is that she likes to put on. But one particular product on our website, identical products, when I tell you this, we sell it for $2. A non-named company that's a big online company, so you can guess their name. They're selling it for $67 plus $4 shipping. Identical product, and we sell it for $2. So I would say to the people, take a look at our website because we have fabulous deals. Now, unfortunately, we don't have toilet paper, rather, but nobody else does, as Nick knows. See, where's Willie Hill when we need him today?
He's going to be on tomorrow because tomorrow we have startups.
Okay. But Willie was the guy that probably published this in Australia and created the run in the world on toilet paper, from what I heard. But he's not here to defend himself, so I won't. I'll come on and talk about him tomorrow. But actually, we have fabulous deals. Wish we could sell in South Africa, ladies, but unfortunately, right now our stores only ship in the United States. Free shipping over $25 of orders. But if you're in